Got the got the beautiful gauge, of course. Nut. Anyways, boom. So, I got the piece de resistance over here, the Harbor Freight boost gauge, and of course, I got a free item, a tarp. Let's look at the receipt over here. I mean, so we got the boost gauge. It was $17.99. Then of course, used a 20% off coupon on there, so it only ended up being $14.39. Then of course, I got the free item discount on the tarp, so free tarp. So in total after tax was $15.54 for the boost gauge and the tarp. Lit. So here we have our beautiful $15 boost gauge by the brand name of Nitrous. Not confusing at all. I'm gonna go ahead and see what it includes. Wow, actually, okay. So, instruction manual, I presume. Already have the vacuum tubing, which is actually pretty cool. Got a fitting to go to your intake manifold if you need it. Got the got the beautiful gauge, of course. Oh, I don't want to scratch it. And I got the bracket to hold the gauge in place. And it also comes with a T-fitting, as well as a harder plastic line over here. Pretty cool thing included is vacuum tubing, but I'm not really a fan of it, so what I'll probably do is just get my own, so that way it's black and matches all the rest of my hoses. Litty boys. Now I know you guys must think that I'm retarded for this, but I did look up reviews on this boost gauge, and it's got actually quite a lot of good reviews, so I'm betting that this thing's actually going to turn out pretty good. So we're going to be installing this boost gauge on my RB20 powered S13 over here, just to see where the boost is at, and that way I can also add my boost controller and turn it up a bit. Yeah, definitely good to have there. So over here looking at the intake manifold, I already got one vacuum line going to the fuel pressure regulator, another line over here being used, and then I got an additional two that are over here and they're capped off, so these ones are just ready to use. So I'll probably just go ahead and use one of these. I'm going to use the lower one down here so that way I could tuck it nice and low. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Alright, so I got my vacuum line ran over here underneath and in through the firewall. But see, now what I gotta do is I gotta step down the hose coming off the intake manifold down to one that's small enough that can fit onto the fitting on the boost gauge. So I bought some 5/32 inch tubing and my universal adapter fitting. So I'm gonna put one end over here on the smaller tubing and the other end on the line that's coming off the intake manifold. That's nice. That's a good one. Shove it through. Wow, so nice and clean. Oh, it's so hot. Now I got my dash over here. My vacuum tubing coming inside, and I'm gonna go underneath and then run that tubing behind the panel over here and then come out to this panel, which this hasn't been wired yet, obviously. But yeah, come out and then the gauge will go in right here. And voila, the vacuum line has popped out here. You can see how much extra I have out of a 6-foot roll. So I probably used only about like 3 feet of this or so. But now we're gonna tackle mounting the boost gauge. So this baby needs to go up in this hole. And I made this actually quite a while back, and there used to be a water temperature gauge in here. But I don't run a water temperature gauge in here just because I run the water temperature gauge using the Nissan data scan. So it's completely unnecessary to have a water temp gauge in here. This baby going through here. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called a deburr tool, also known as make holes slightly bigger tool if they don't fit boost gauges. Oh, all of a sudden you want to go in nice, huh? Yeah, that's what I thought. Looking pretty good. Let's get this boy out. So in order to install this to keep the gauge in place, I need to take off these two nuts and install this little bit of hardware. this baby going over. Bam! Nut! So these are just snug down, obviously, because I don't need them tightened to 85 foot-pounds. Oh, she's pretty good. So typically you would wire this up to a 12-volt source, maybe have it on a switch, something that, you know, as soon as you turn on your ignition, this baby comes on too with all the lights and everything like that. But something that I've read about though is that this thing always reverts back to its original color when you turn off the car, which means I always have to click here 20 times in order to get the color that I want. And I've also read some reviews about this, that the light is pretty bright, so that's gonna be a little bit annoying at night. So I'm not gonna wire this gauge up unless I change the bulb inside here to maybe like a continuous purple bulb or something like that. So that way it's consistently the same exact color and it's not gonna be like super crazy bright. But until then, it will not be wired. Actually, let's do a quick test. My brother gave me this battery, it's positive, this is negative. Not even sure if you guys are gonna be able to see this, but certainly does light up. But yeah, let's disconnect it and see what color it reverts back to. Once if I do it to red, turn the car off. And yeah, back to green again. So that's a little disappointing. So for me, if I wanted to have that light up, I'd definitely take apart the gauge and then replace the bulb in there with something that's a consistent color, because having to change that every single time is a little bit annoying. But it is a $15 gauge, so I can't even complain. So I'm gonna have this tube a little bit long till out here, so that way it's not gonna be an issue for when this whole thing comes out. Just like the doctor possibly did when you're born. Just a little snip snip, you know what I mean, guys? Slide that over there. Toss that back. Press fit in place. And bam, it's installed. Wow, I'm a genius. All right, let's go see how this thing works. Give you guys that up close shot. So pretty actually nice and straight. Obviously the needle dips down a little bit because 0 is off center, so middle is right about there. But yeah, pretty lit, dude. Over here, let's see if this thing starts. Never know. Now we'll take it out and see if it actually builds boost. So yeah, I mean, it was producing about 7 pounds from what I saw, which should be stock boost. So obviously that was just around the parking lot, but it did seem pretty consistent. It actually seems to be working. Just, I mean, according to the reviews, what it should be doing. So dude, for $15, that is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I like how there's like $2,500 in wheels on this car, which is purely aesthetic, and yet running a $15 boost gauge, which is, you know, monitoring how much boost is getting pushed into this engine. Absolutely ridiculous. I make terrible decisions. But for me, the way I usually like to buy things is based off of reviews. So the fact that this thing had so many good reviews on Harbor Freight, I was like, might as well give it a try. And it actually seems to be working out fairly well. So if it does end up completely failing on me, then most likely you'll find out on my Instagram. So if you want to check that out, offbeat_garage. But other than this going on right now, I got some yellow speed coilovers that came in for the S55 AMG. So, you know, it's gonna be some coilovers on the AMG. No more hydraulic suspension. Gonna be sicky nar. So make sure to stay tuned by subscribing, and if you are already subscribed, make sure to have your notifications on. And of course, check out the store, offbeatgarage.com. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!